interesting claim made on The View yesterday about, I don't know, this is a claim about a policy that apparently Republicans have been supporting. This is news to me, but I don't know, listen.
But I will say this, just like the Latinas saved the Senate, young voters saved this country. And we need to really understand that we are supposed to leave this world in a better place than we found it. When you look at the youth voter turnout in the 2022 midterms, they delivered key wins for the Democrats.
So we're with Matt Walsh today, and he's talking about, he's looking at a clip from The View where they're talking about voters, especially young voters. And it was interesting what she just said. First of all, of course, the trained seals in the audience at The View just start clapping immediately when she mentioned something about the youth vote. Then she said, you know, we want to leave the world as a better, better than we left it, or leave the world better than we found it, or something like that. And young people tend to vote Democrat, as if voting Democrat automatically means leaving the world better than you left it. Frankly, I disagree with that, and I think I assume many of you do too. Please let me know in the comments. Let's see what else she has to say about that. Oh, and she mentioned something about the Republicans wanting to raise the voting age to 28. That'd be awesome.
Younger voters aged 18 to 29, which, by the way, now the Republicans want to raise the voting to age 28. Younger voters were the only voter group by age to overwhelmingly support Democrats in the midterms. 63% of voters voted for Democratic House candidates. I think my friend, Cornell Belker, and Cornell as well, he says there are really two electorates, one older and one younger, fighting to take this country in very different directions. The Republican Party has to get with it. They are dying out, and they are being
We're going to talk more about that, Sonny. We're up on time here.
So what was that again? She says, by the way, Republicans, they want to raise the voting age to 28. What? What Republican has said that? Tell me what Republican has said that, because I would be supporting them. I'd be campaigning for them. No Republican is saying that. Raise the voting age to 28. I haven't heard that from anyone. Now, you're also mistaken. Like, I'm not pushing for raising the voting age to 28 either. I want to raise it to like 35. But I am far, in a way, in the minority on that. And I'm also not an elected Republican politician, and I have not heard any suggest that we do that.
Wow, Matt Walsh, absolutely based from my point of view. Yeah, I'm a voting restriction maximalist. I want as many voting restrictions as possible. The first of which would be definitely raise the voting age. 18 is way too young to have responsibility for voting. Absolutely. He says 35. Yeah, that's more like it. I agree. I would add many more conditions to voting. But I won't go into them now and bore you. Let's see what else he says.
And as we talked about yesterday, as much as I think that we should raise the voting age. We should have all kinds of parameters put in place. There should be all kinds of restrictions on voting that go way beyond voter ID, same-day voting. I mean, that should just be the beginning of it. There should be so much more. But none of that is going to happen. It should, but it's not going to happen. And so we have to get to a point, myself certainly included, in dealing with what actually is happening. Yeah, our entire system of voting is a joke, and it only becomes more of a joke every single day. But if we want to have any chance of changing any of that, we have to deal with that, confront that. And as I said yesterday, figure out how to navigate this system and exploit the systems that are in place. Republicans in some states have figured out how to do that. How do you mobilize the mass mail-in voting, early voting? None of that should exist. It shouldn't exist, but it does. And so are we going to allow Democrats to be the only ones who utilize that? Or are Republicans going to start utilizing it too? System shouldn't be there, but it is. And so take advantage of it to the extent that you can. Because the only other what's the other option? I don't see any other option. The other option is to, on principle, say, no, we're not going to do that. And then you just never win another election ever again.
Yeah, he makes a good point. You got to take advantage of the tools and the weapons that the opposition is using. And if the Democrats are using all these ridiculous systems, then Republicans must too. There's just no way around it. It's silly not to. Of course, yeah, mass mail-in voting, early voting, all that stuff is complete nonsense. I agree 100% with Matt Walsh here. Let me know what you think. But yeah, I mean, he's just talking there about the voting, the actual way that you cast your vote. But of course, I would implement all sorts of restrictions on voting. No voting for immigrants, for example. Even though that means, for example, in my country, in Western Europe, I wouldn't be able to vote anymore. Okay, fine. No, so tough, No voting for felons. No voting for all sorts of things. But I agree. That's not like something to make an issue out of if you actually want to win an election. But yeah, Republicans and conservatives in general just need to stop being so nice about these things. Play by the rules that the opposition uses. Or wasn't it a Democrat who once said something like, vote early and vote often or something? Meaning in one election, like vote over and over for one election. I think one of those machine politicians like in Chicago or something. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below, and like and subscribe. As always, it really helps me build the channel, grow the channel, and continue making videos for you.